What is up, people? Here I am at work, trying to empty out this trailer. Oh, fell a little bit. That's all right. We're back up. Just trying to empty it out. A little something something. It's first stop right here. You could tell the door is literally right there, and you saw the phone fall, so that's a pallet right there too. I only had maybe just a little, maybe 3x3 available, maybe 4x4. Not sure how big or wide that spot was. So yeah, so I took out that cooler pallet. Now I'm off to the freezer. That divider right there separates the freezing air with the cold air. So my phone right now is on the dry side. So I'm recording just me stacking the freezer, cuz that whole pallet doesn't go to that stop, only a little something something. So here we are. I think I'm at stop 2 right now. For sure getting it ready. But yeah, there we are in stop 2. And then boom. No, 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 that's still the dry. Oh, my bad. See, look, that was the dry side. Forgot where I was at. But anyways, yeah, taking it out. Boom. No, no, this is stop 2. I'm so sorry, guys. A little confused. But yeah, stop 2. That's a chicken pallet right there. Same thing. Half of it is gonna go to that KFC, and then the other half will go to a different one. So yeah, they didn't order much. They usually get a whole one, but not this day. Yeah, I got a little hot, so had to let the jacket go for a little bit. Here I am taking those dividers out. Man, when those dividers are frozen, it's a whole nother story. But yeah, so here I am taking out the freezer. Boom, boom. See, the rest of that does go there. Makes it a little easier. Take a little bit off the next one, next pallet. Securing the load, because man, that load isn't secure. Those load locks come in handy. So here we are, stop 3. Boom, boom. Trying to knock all this out. I don't know, but for some reason, just seeing how it starts and then just seeing how it ends, it's like a little satisfying. Look at that big old pallet. Man, sometimes those pallets are just way too high, and I have to downstack a little bit. See, like that one, boom, just so it could fit through the door. Because there's times that they're just too high, and I don't see that it doesn't, uh, that it isn't gonna go out, and then it just falls over because it just pushes it. There I am down stacking again. Boom, boom. Moving the dollies out the way. Man, I told guys, like, hey, first stop, always gonna suck. Second stop might suck. Just know you have a certain amount of time to do it. It's okay if it takes that whole certain amount of time. Which, I mean, it's 14 hours, guys. 11 hours driving, 14-hour work duty. You don't have to do the 14 hours, but that's what you have. So that's why I tell guys, it's okay, you got 14 hours to do it. Boom, man, that freezer stays at about 0, so that cold air. Yeah. I mean, I'm wearing a beanie, so it helps. I think this day was just kind of one of the warmer days. Whole chicken pallet. Secure the next load. Always. Little stacking. This one doesn't order much, so the freezer could just fit in one dolly. But this right here, gotta squeeze that out because those bulkheads go behind that unit, so it's a little hard to because those bulkheads are pretty tight um, up against the wall. And then boom, jump this one out. This one's yeah, this one's. Look at that little 360. Boom, boom, push it out. I don't know if you guys find this like kind of satisfying. Maybe it's my view. I think if I would have had like a more like an aerial view. I forgot my tripod, so I just was just putting it on top of boxes. But if I would have had like a little tripod, which I have one, I just forget it, would have been a lot better. Here I am down stacking again. I do a lot of down stacking. If y'all haven't noticed, they mix the pallets. It would be so nice if it was just pure pallet drop where that whole pallet goes, and that's how it always is. It's always, it happens every now and then with a couple stores, but typically, for sure, there's always separation of somehow. We have to down stack something. And like meanwhile, while all this is going down, I'm typically either listening to music for like the first few stores, and then I might call some other buddies of mine that work, or maybe they'll call me and we'll just chit chat literally for like 5, 5, 6 hours, almost all night. Here, boom, boom. We gotta push it back out, push it back in, push it. Cause man, when it's like that, it barely fits. But that plastic, man, that plastic curtain, especially when like on a day like this was like a real humid day because it was hot outside and like cold inside. Those plastics on the pallets just get stuck to that curtain. Look at all the labels on that curtain from past routes. You see how it kind of bends back when I'm pulling it? Yeah, sometimes that falls like that. So yeah, so we're making a little progress. Making a little progress. Yeah, I know it looks kind of foggy, but that's just the unit blowing all that cold air, and then compared to the hot air on the outside, it's not too hot, but I mean it was probably like 40, in the 40s, 50s. Look at that big difference from where we started to, this is like kind of halfway. I don't know. I know I see this as fun for me, just emptying it out. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. There's some days that it's frustrating, but you gotta have those frustrating days to appreciate the good days. It happens. Here I am, building a pallet just because it was all mixed in and all that had to go out. So that was a cooler pallet. Now I'm getting the rest of the cooler because the meat and vegetables and cheese and all that stay in the cooler side. So this restaurant gets a meat pallet, and then uh, like a veggie cheese pallet. But yeah, they're right here down stacking the same because they put all the beef for the whole route in typically 1 or 2 pallets, and different stores, you know, they'll order like fresh beef, so had to separate that a little bit. Boom, boom, cups, big old boxes of cups. Now on windy days, those cups just go flying. You step outside on a windy day, and boom, they're just so big and so light because they're the foam cups. Yeah, it's a lot of bulkhead moving around. Yeah, so put a freezer pallet, put that low lock. Man, because sometimes you forget that load lock to put it back on. That's why I try to remember, hey, let that be the first thing you do. Because, man, if you forget that load lock, you move. Because those pallets are like, they're not, well, how do I say it? They, they're kind of skinny, right? The way they load them like long ways, I guess. So front to back, they're real skinny. So they're real easy to tip, especially if they're top heavy. And right here, then it's not like, oh, uh, let's load it the bottom of the pallet heavy. If let's say we have one stop that's, let's say, like not fries, right? Maybe, let's say something like onion rings or some kinds of desserts. You know, they're typically light compared to dough, like frozen dough. And let's say the first stop needs to go out because they do it in order. They're supposed to do it in order. 90% of the time, they do it in order where the first stop is on top, second stop's at the bottom. Unless for some reason the first stop orders, way more than the second stop, then they'll put the second stop on top just so we can down stack it a little easier. Yeah, look, almost done. Reach the back net. That back net is supposed to help it, but it does a little bit of work. That on the left side, that's all the pallets I've picked up and emptied out throughout the whole route. You can see there's a load log kind of leaning. That one was messed up. I remember wouldn't lock all the way, wouldn't secure all the way. And then there's a little bit of, I don't know, I haven't gotten. You see, there's another bulkhead on the right side. That's the rest of the freezer. Look, there it is. Because most of the freezer is on the left, but then on the right side, there's probably like one or two pallets of frozen that just doesn't fit the left. And sometimes those bulkheads just fall on me without me knowing. I just put it up against the wall and I turn around and boom. And I get a little worried thinking someone is trying to jump me, but nope, just the bulkhead trying to hurt me. They're not too heavy, but I mean they hit your head, it still hurts. There we go. Left side's clear. Boom, boom. Look at that. Putting everything up. Trying to get everything ready. Last pallet. There we go.